Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, it's a little bit different. It's no DIY or anything. It's just kind of more of a talk about the Bronco project, because I don't know if people know like how much this really takes to do. And I know when I first started this build, I had no clue what I was getting into. It's crazy some of the stuff I've learned and some of the stuff I feel like other people need to know before they go nose first into a full-on restoration, body off, like everything. If you guys are thinking of doing a restoration, make sure you watch to the end of this video. So when I say restoration, I mean, first of all, like complete resto, body off, like the whole project, which when I bought this, that wasn't my initial plan. It went that way. So this is a 1979 Ford Bronco Ranger XLT. So it's a dream truck of mine, and I bought it in really rough shape. I'll put up some clips for you guys. And the body's outside, the frame's right here. I'm talking about a solo restoration. So if you guys watch like TV shows, like they have a shop, they have everything you need, lifts, tools, sponsors, like all access to all the parts. They can do a restoration in like a month. This is a bit different. Like I've had my buddies help me with some stuff, which is really awesome, but it's not a full-on 8-man on operation every day. So I'm talking solo restoration. The first thing I'm going to talk about is something I didn't expect when I bought this. Is it like changed my life, like in a weird way, where it's like, oh, I have to work on the Bronco. I have to work on the Bronco. I have a weekend off. I have to work on the Bronco. I didn't buy this to have it sit there and rot and be like, oh, I'll do it like soon. And this is something I want to get done, and I've been working on it freaking every day for the longest time, like a year almost. Mid-February, I think we're coming up on a year, maybe late February? A year of owning the Bronco. I've done a lot to it, but it's also been a lot of work throughout the year, and there has been some days off and some weeks off of it, but it consumes your life. I know there's two different types of people. There's like the people who want to actually do it, and there's the people who just like are like, oh, I bought this new project, we'll let it sit for a while and we'll hop on it. I'm the person that wants to actually drive this truck someday and I want to get it done. When you buy something like this and you have that mentality, it consumes your life. I find myself just so focused on this truck in so many ways, like researching it, buying parts, like just thinking about it all the time. Like, well, what's the next move with the Bronco? Like it's actually ingrained into my life, which I didn't expect. Like I thought it'd be like a side thing, but for me, vehicles are really like the number one thing for some reason. I wish I didn't like vehicles, because I would have more time and more money, but that's the way it goes. This can be a really overwhelming thing. So when you buy it, just be expecting it to kind of weasel its way in and be part of your life now, like in a bigger way than you'd think, because it's just always on your mind. So that's number one. All right, guys, so the next thing on the list is money spent and everything. It takes a lot of money to do something like this, and that's not a flex in any way. I'm not the type of guy to drop all the money at once. Now you can either do this two ways. You can buy a truck and do less work for more money, or you can buy it cheap and monthly buy some parts and kind of do it that way to fit your budget. So that's kind of what I did. I bought this truck for like $4,700 and it needed a full resto. So full resto, budgetly to my liking, and it takes a good amount of money, guys. It's not cheap, that's for sure. But you can do it the two ways, right? So if you're somebody who $20 for 5 days is better than $100 in one day, go the route of kind of buying parts here and there, and it's definitely a little bit slower process. You got to do what you got to do to make this happen. And if you're a person who likes to spend money up front, you can literally buy everything you need all at once and just have everything ready to go, and you'll be set, and it'll also save you a lot of time. But I'm doing it the other way. I don't like seeing that big number come out of the account, so I'd rather do like $100 a few days in a row than see 300 pop out at the same. It's just me. So, but that's one thing, guys. It is expensive, and one way to counter that is just to save up a little bit, buy a part, save up, buy a part, buy a few things here and there, and that's number two, guys. It's expensive either way you do it. So number three, guys, it's going to be storage for the Bronco and storage for all the parts for the Bronco. Now, this is something I wasn't really ready for either, because the best thing I've found for doing a project like this is to kind of collect parts. Now what that means is you need somewhere to store all those parts. I'm lucky enough to live where I live and have a lot of room, and I'm super thankful for that, because I got the frame in the garage, I got the body out front, I got tons of parts spread down the side of the driveway. I have all my good parts tucked away under a tarp outside. I got parts in the garage. I've got tons of boxes right behind the camera here. Like, there's parts everywhere. When you share a garage, it's hard. Like, I don't want to be in anybody's way with my stuff, but so, like, it's just, I don't have much of a choice, unfortunately. When you're buying stuff for a truck like this, you don't know what you need until you like now that I've done the frame, I'm getting rid of a ton of stuff because I know I don't need certain things. But when you're building it, you have like parts galore. Like, you're running a junk scrap yard bin in the back. I just finished the frame, so now I'm kicking out a bunch of parts, but you definitely need a lot of room. And if I was at my other house there, I don't think I would be able to do it. It would be a mess for sure. And there's like 5-6 cars in the driveway, a trailer. Like, there's no room for a Bronco body, a Bronco frame. There's no garage. I got lucky that way, having the storage to do it. But that's just another thing that if you guys are thinking of doing a full-on restoration, you need a lot of room for it and a lot of storage for parts, and big parts too. Like, I have 3 hoods right now, and they all have to be stored somewhere. And then the canopies and extra frames, like it takes a lot of room. So be ready for that, guys. And that's number 3. So number 4, guys, it's gonna be time on the build itself. Obviously, doing this stuff solo takes a lot longer. I work around work, holidays, family stuff. It's not like a main focus, but it's always on my mind. It's always there. And I work on this, like, the amount of hours I've put into this, guys, is ridiculous. Like, I've spent so many hours on this project. I don't regret doing any of it. You have to have lots of patience on a project like this. And here's what happened to me. I bought this and I was like, a month in, I was like, I'm just gonna sell it. I don't want to do it. Like, this is too much work, and I was just getting overwhelmed. But you just have to step back and be like, this project, it doesn't need to be done. There's no set date on it. Obviously, I want to drive it so bad, like, it's insane, but there's no set date. So you might as well do it properly the first time so you can just enjoy it for the rest of its time. Be patient, guys. Take the extra time to do it right the first time. As long as you guys keep doing stuff, you go like every day and do something a little bit. Like, let's say you install the drive shaft one day and that's it. And then the next day you install the front drive shaft because you don't have much time to work on it. But at least the build's continuing and you feel ongoing progression. Because when I don't work on this thing, it literally hurts me. Like, I feel like an idiot. I'm like sitting inside, I'm like, I didn't work on the Bronco today. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, this thing's not gonna build itself. But obviously you're not gonna work on it every day, but when you do, just get little steps done and just go like that. At least doing something. When it sits here and you haven't touched it for a long time, it's really unmotivating. This takes a lot of time. It's been a year and here's where I'm at. So just know, when you guys buy something like this, it's gonna take a lot of time and you need a lot of patience and motivation. So just be ready for that, guys, when you wanna jump into something this big. So number 5 on the list, guys, is gonna be time spent ordering parts and researching parts. This is something I didn't even think of, but I always find myself when I'm at my computer just always thinking about the Bronco build, researching parts. Like, oh, what does this part do? Like, I'm looking up videos and ordering parts. Like, this stuff all adds into time of the build, but it's just a little bit different because you're inside, you're at your computer, you're looking at tons of parts, you're trying to calculate the best deal, the best website to buy from, shipping. Like, you're all over the place. And then next thing you know, you're researching the part. Like, oh, is this a good part? Like, is this a good part? Like, it's crazy the amount of time you spend on this. And we just talked about that in the last one. But this is something that's like hidden. It's like a hidden time because you're having fun doing this. Like, you're sitting there, you're researching stuff, right? But I had zero clue about these vehicles when I bought it. I had no background research. I obviously did some research like when I was buying it, but like that's like a few days of research. That's not even much. So I didn't know anything about these. So as I'm building it, the research keeps going and going and going. I've learned a lot. Like, it's insane the amount I've learned. But just know, time doesn't stop just at the build. there's a lot more time that goes into it behind the scenes of you just doing the hands-on stuff. So number 6, guys, is this all worth it for your vehicle's value? Is it even worth it to do all this work? The honest answer is it depends on the vehicle. Where I live, this was literally still, I've seen one 78, 79 Bronco since I bought this one on Marketplace that wasn't restored. And when they're restored, they're like ridiculous, like 40 grand. For me, buying it for 4,500 bucks, like that's worth it. That's worth the investment of my time and money. And I'm not building this to flip it. I'm building it for myself. But there's also, if I keep this for 10 years, that value is going to go up and up. And a lot of Ford people know that right now. And that's why these are really hard to find. I'm buying it for the long run. This is by no means am I gonna build this and sell it. I'm gonna build it and just enjoy it on the weekends. It's gonna be a cruiser. Is it worth it for your vehicle? Because if you have like a Civic that's blown up, like a 2002 Civic that's like needs a restoration, like that's not really worth it, obviously, because they're like 2 grand. You don't want to go this crazy into something unless it's worth it, in my opinion, or it's like a value to you. Like, or it's gonna meet, but you don't want to be dumping like 10 grand into something that's you're only gonna get 6 or 7 out of. Like that doesn't really make sense. And plus all your time and effort into building it and all that stuff behind the scenes. So make sure, if I was doing it again, I wanted to know this, I would say make sure it's worth a restoration. It's worth all that time. Like I said, where I lived, I've barely, you never see these Broncos on the road. You never see them for sale. They're super rare and they're only gonna go up in value. So that's why I bought it. I'm super lucky I bought it when I did, because they've already gone up in value. But now that I got it, I'm building it and I know it's gonna go up. So for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. All the time and energy is gonna be worth it once it's done. Also for a YouTuber perspective, you get a lot of content out of a full restoration like this. You get tons of videos. So if that's something, you guys are YouTubers and you want to know that, like you get unlimited videos out of this thing. You're doing a full everything. You can have a video on everything if you want. So that's pretty cool too. You get lots of content out of it. That's number 6, guys. I'd say make sure it's worth the resto. This is the last thing, is overall, is it worth doing and is it like fun? And the answer to that, I'd have to say, is it is fun, not all the time, just like anything. The amount I've learned from doing this, guys, is insane. Like I have learned so much that I had no clue before. Like everything I've done has been by me. So I've learned how to do brakes, how to do drums, how to do engine swap, how to put a transfer case on a transmission, how to install a fuel tank, how to install exhaust, how to install the whole front suspension, how to install a diff, how to install leaf springs. It just goes on and on. It's going to be soon how to install a body. You learn so much from something like this. But when you have no knowledge of it to begin with, it makes it that much more crazy when you learn all this stuff. Obviously, I worked at a shop for 2 years before I started my other job. I did a lot of things there, so I already had the knowledge, but Ford specific knowledge, I've learned so much. So I'm happy for that. I'm just gonna look at it like if I was being asked the question, like, and is it fun? It is fun. For me, it gives me motivation to come out to the garage and kind of tinker, and it gives me YouTube videos. It's more than just a truck in my life. It's my dream. Like this is my dream, guys. And I know that, and I also know it's not gonna build itself. So I have to be out there going hard on it. Obviously, you're gonna have bad days on stuff like this too, guys. Do not cancel that out of the picture, because this can be really frustrating. But at least it's a secondary vehicle. It's not your daily, so your daily's not in this condition, right? So that's also something. Like when you start, like let's say you start a rear diff teardown, at least you know there's no time limit because you don't have to drive it the next day, like stuff like that. So it's super chill to work on. You can kind of pick away at it every day. That's kind of the answer, is I would do it again. And I wish I knew more going into it. I wish I got a little bit of a better starting platform to do a restoration. There's a lot of work ahead of me still, and a lot of body work. So I'm gonna be learning like crazy, guys. Like learning to do body work and stuff. Like who knew I'd be doing body work? Like, I didn't really want to do that, but it's got to be done. So, but yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a bit different, and I hope if you guys are gonna start a restoration, you watch this video, make it all the way to the end, and it helps you guys out maybe with some stuff that you didn't know. And when this is all done, guys, I'm gonna be like the happiest guy on the streets. Like, knowing that I've done all this is just crazy. Like, I'm proud of myself for where it's at now. Seeing this come together from where it was is just insane. And time flies by so fast, guys. So if you buy a project, make sure you work on it. Stay motivated. It is really hard. It's something like, if you don't feel it, if you guys don't feel like working on it, don't work on it. Just take the day, because I can tell you, like, when you wake up with that motivation inside you to go outside, like, those are the days when stuff gets done and it's fun. When you do it as a chore, it's not fun. That's the same with me and YouTube. So I don't edit until I feel that motivation to. So you don't want to make it a job. You just want it to be a side hobby that's fun. So remember, keep the fun in it. It doesn't have to be done unless you have a time limit. I don't. It doesn't have to be done anytime soon. Just keep that patience, keep that motivation. Do some research, get yourself pumped up. If you're going through a drought, do some research. Watch people drive in that vehicle, because that'll give you that motivation to get back up and get outside and stop being lazy and get on it again. So this is just my opinion stuff, and maybe you guys let me know what you think in the comments. If you have done a restoration, let me know what you think. If you're looking into doing one, if you got any questions of something this big, let me know in the comments and I'll answer anything you guys have to ask. If you like this video, guys, hit that like button. I love to see the likes go up, because big project. You got to keep that motivation. The likes are motivating. So if you guys enjoyed this video, guys, and you like that restoration build vibe, then check my channel, because I got tons of videos and tons more to come for the Bronco. I also have a Ram off-road beast and another build coming in the future. But thank you guys a lot. I appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.